All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pick It and Flick It podcast, the one and only podcast in the entire world. There's only just us.
You think there's another one that has this concept? You think someone
of two people talking about movies? Yeah, I'm sure that's been done at least once or twice.
Of the concept of pick it and then flick it.
Yeah, Siskel and Ebert did it on TV about 40 years ago.
What was it called? Pick it and flick it?
No. Something like At the Movies.
At the movies?
Siskel and Ebert at the movies, I believe.
But that's not the same thing.
Yeah, but it's the same concept. They talk about a movie for a little bit. They give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I'm Luke.
Hey.
I'm usually the co-host, but...
You know, you've made that a trend, but I don't think it's
trend.
necessarily a thing. My name is Vox, and
I'm Natasha.
Get to introduce yourself today as you ran down the stairs real fast.
We're running late.
My phone. Sorry.
Yes. Luke?
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
We are talking about...
The 8th movie, by the way.
Is it?
It's the 8th movie.
I thought it was 7.
I thought
No.
it was 7.
Is it? It is 7.
See, you don't even know.
I don't know how to count.
Anyway,
change
we
my
talked
notebook.
about arguably the most famous horror movie of all time, I'd say. I'd say that if you did a survey, this would probably be at the top. 1973's The Exorcist.
Oh, my goodness.
A movie that has not only transcended itself, I would say, it is probably in the top 10 biggest movies of all time, I would say. Just because, like, everyone's seen this movie. Everyone knows the little girl, the swearing, the vomit, the head turning around,
Sure.
the score.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Which, that song was only in there
right,
2 times
Yeah.
for like 10 seconds.
right,
Oh, man.
and yet everyone knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd say it's up there with Michael Myers.
absolutely,
Halloween,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Can I say what my first thing? This movie has no business or reason to be as long as it was.
Yeah,
And you know what's
it doesn't
funny?
need to be as long as
I
it is.
believe some stuff was cut out originally, and that was put back for the one we watched.
Yeah.
They say that's like their definitive version.
Well, this was the director's cut.
Right.
So-
But there was also, it was even longer. There were some scenes that were lost for different
my
reasons.
God.
Which I don't agree with. I think this movie is, it didn't drag very much, I don't think. I didn't feel like it did.
It wasn't one of those movies in my eyes that was like, this is pointless to watch, to continue watching at some of these parts. It was just like boring nonsense
Okay.
during parts of it. And I say that, and that's why I said before we sat down, like, we're going to fight about this.
Because we don't usually say our opinions until we're down here anyway.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So this was a drag, man.
Well,
Like,
I felt like showing the mother at the college. I don't know, like showing that she's an actress. I
Yeah,
just
no,
really
who
didn't think
cares?
that had any relevance to the movie.
no, a simple line of, hey, we shot the movie today, and then the whole scene with the magazine where it showed her and her daughter on the cover of obviously some kind of like a tabloid magazine or whatever it is. That's easily how to cure that.
I mean, but the 70s was a different time. Maybe people wanted longer movies
Well,
because
no,
they
I
didn't
think-
have
yeah.
anything else to do.
I think it was establishing also, like, because that guy who they say
Yeah.
was pushed out the window, that's the mom's director, I think,
Yeah.
and
Love interest, maybe.
love interest. I
But
think
couldn't
they're-
they have shown that at the party that they had that was completely unnecessary as
I
well?
mean, the party was like 30 seconds long.
But
no, I didn't think so.
No, I would say it would that dragged out a hot minute too. But that's why I'm saying we're gonna fight, here.
Right.
So, give me your rundown from how it starts. Like what?
Well, we start in Iraq, which I was reading. They couldn't even have any U.S. crew members go there to shoot it because we didn't have relations with them at the time.
Seriously.
So it was an all British crew went over there, shot their stuff. Which I think it really sets the scene because you're like really like kind of what the fuck is happening, and you're trying to piece it together. They don't really explicitly tell you anything. Some really good sound design going on, and I think it was just it's they don't do real outlandish and unrelated openings like that anymore, and it kind of I forgot that it opens like this. If we're being honest,
So did
Yeah,
I.
that was surprising.
Yeah, I had once we started the movie, I was like, I totally forgot that this was how it initiated. But my problem with it is what was the significance?
well,
And
it was establishing the demonicness.
But it doesn't matter, in my opinion. This
So
is
was
just my opinion.
Was that priest possessed?
He was at one point, I believe, yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they were hinting at when he was sitting at the cafe and he was like shaking and drinking, because he had obviously overcome something that was, rather significant, especially to the story, because we see the priest later on after getting Regan. After we see her become unpossessed, it goes into him,
right?
And then all of a sudden he overcomes that as well and jumps out the window.
Yeah.
So, we always do this. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen
this nearly 50-year-old movie,
so if you haven't seen Exorcist from '73, make sure you.
Even though every scene of this movie has been memed and parodied into fucking oblivion.
So I was trying to put pieces together, and I was doing a little bit of research as you were as we were watching it, because I had so many questions. It seems like a lot of people are just completely on board with what I was saying, is there's no significance to having Father Merrin dig up an artifact and show that it is some kind of demonic or satanic, connection to it. That first 20 minutes of the movie could have been chopped off, and we start with Regan starting, just a regular girl doing a regular thing, and then started acting weird. Why we are in Iraq filming this, I have no idea, but what a waste of production money and time and value. My opinion. Sorry.
So
How dare you have
did
that?
he carry back the demon with him? Is that what that is supposed to mean, or does that not even have
exactly?
A connection?
Who knows?
It's unclear, but I don't think so. I know the demon is called Pazuzu. They never say it in the movie, but they talk about it more in the second one and the third one as well. That's what that face is. That white face that keeps popping up that they never really mention too exposition-y.
What is
So
it
is
called?
Reagan-
Its name is Pazuzu.
In the second,
Yeah, P-A-Z-U-K-U, something.
Z-U.
So in the
Yeah,
in
something
the
like
second
that.
movie, is Reagan possessed again?
Yes. I haven't seen The Exorcist 2: The Heretic in a long time.
I've never seen that.
It's up there on that list of
Don't watch
have you
this.
seen these really, 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 really bad movies, with like Troll 2 and it's up there on those lists.
Leprechaun.
So any of the Leprechaun movies.
Leprechaun in Space is great. What are you talking
Leprechaun 4 in Space is a cinematic classic.
Yeah,
he has a
absolutely.
lightsaber.
Duh.
for a
I just
moment.
feel like those kind of movies, like The Exorcist, don't need a sequel.
No, this
And
movie
I
did
feel
not.
Like they just were reaching for more.
about? Well, they're
money.
milking for it, yeah.
Yeah.
But like you had mentioned, which led me into my next question, did the priest Merrin or Father Merrin bring that possession over with them? Like, why Regan, of all of the people? Like, why did she get possessed? That's never even addressed.
I think it's the same, like...
Is it does the Ouija board have anything to do with?
Well,
her
that's
getting
what I was
possessed?
thinking too. And we have Captain Howdy, or whatever the hell
Yeah,
his name
yeah.
is. But and we see the Ouija board move real quick when the mom goes to use it. But it's not. It never like insinuates that she's been messing with it for a longer period of time. She just said I played with
I
it
think
once.
it might just be like wrong place, wrong time, just an unlucky fucking kid.
And going along with the Ouija board thing, my opinion on that too is that it was feeding off the times. It's 73. People are scared of fucking.
Oh, yeah.
The satanic panic is basically about to start at that point. So
Yeah, religion. There was a real religious panic.
yeah.
Which is weird because I was saying how this movie was protested a lot, saying that it like glorified Satan, which I found it to be the complete opposite.
Yeah, as someone who is, and we don't need to talk about our religious views on everything, but as someone who leans towards the atheist side of the world, because I despise religion in the sense, but I love seeing things like this, especially from different eras, because it really reflects on how people were in society at the time. This has nothing to do with what satanic people
I
or Satanist religion.
I would not be surprised if a third way through the exorcism scene, Jesus came out with a shotgun and started blasting her. Like that was like as I don't know what's the opposite of like being anti. You're really into Catholicism. I would say like it really was like
very pro-religion.
Yeah, pro-religion. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I was having a little brain fart there, but
You're all right.
yeah, I don't understand how that was anti. Like even the scene where Father Karras
Yeah.
is doing the Bible thing and he's breaking the wafer in half. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But who thinks that? Is she 12?
Yes.
Yeah.
That a 12-year-old. I don't know how to say it. Fucking herself with a cross is
Masturbating?
is pro is pro Satan. Like, who's like, yeah, I want my 12-year-old to do that because of Satan. I don't know.
Well, at the time, Satanists, and just to reflect on what you're saying, is Satanists weren't a common like denominator in any kind of religious.
They still really
belief.
aren't. They're still a very underground thing, I feel
But
like.
now they're way more prevalent than
Yeah.
what they used to be. So at the time, it wasn't people going to this to be pro Satan. It was people going to this being like, this is what Satan makes you do. It makes you fuck yourself at the cross. They make you masturbate and cut yourself at the cross. They make you say cunt all the time because, I mean, they thought that this was something that was actually reflecting
Yeah.
the evil on the other side of religion.
Which that scene with the cross is
Brutal.
even now.
Brutal.
73. We're in 2020, nearly 2021.
Yeah.
I still like squirmed and was like, okay, I don't like that.
There is
Yeah,
a
that
lot.
might have been a little bit more uncomfortable than Reanimator.
Yeah.
Right.
No, for real.
This might be the scariest movie of all time.
If I'm gonna go on a ledge and say this, if this was like now, it would be nothing. And we kind of talked about that while we were going back and forth. Like, let's not remake movies like
Right.
this because it would be nothing. We've
Well,
seen so many things way more evil.
It's also like horror movies, just like everything else, art wise, is reflective of the time it came out.
Right.
Just like you said.
right,
80s was exactly like that with
Right.
the slashers.
right.
Counterculture really did that in the 90s. It's just how it is. This movie, the way it's done, is so perfect that trying to do it with 2021 views and goals, I guess,
Right.
is completely moronic to me, and I do not understand how that made it past anyone's desk with an approval.
No,
Well,
no.
even like the sound effects, because those
Yes.
those were 100% authentic.
It's
Yeah.
None of
perfect.
them were computer made. There was nothing that was CGI. And
yeah, you could definitely tell that they
nowadays
went out.
that would ruin it.
Like, look
Like
at-
even like her making like that would be cheesy nowadays, but back then that was
Oh man, and I
scary.
think it was well done, and it holds up its time as of right now. I'm gonna tell you, this movie's storyline is garbage. There is not a lot that's going on.
but that's
with
not
this.
it. It's not. It doesn't
But-
need it.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant for that. This movie was put out to be scary, to haunt people.
The movie is, what would you think? What would you feel if
Yes.
this happened to you?
Yes. And I really, really appreciate
And like
that.
Tosh was saying, I know for a fact they've said that they're gonna remake this movie countless times.
Ugh.
I saw
Leave
that
it
2021.
Yeah, just
was,
let it go.
There's a B.
No,
said
no,
leave
leave
it
it.
Oh
be.
my God.
Is there a B?
There's a B.
There's a B?
No, I got stung and there's still an
Michael
outline
with a
from
B.
it.
You seen that?
Yeah.
But like she was saying,
Michael B. Jordan.
if this was done, ooh, he'll be the lead, he'll be the father.
Stop it. Killmonger has nothing to do with this.
The end of Adonis Creed is gonna fight the demon.
Willow Smith can
Um,
be Reagan.
Exactly. Get on it, Hollywood. But no, the ending of this movie would literally be like The Conjuring, where Reagan's head is spinning 360 degrees like a fucking top, and she's flying around the room, and everything's loud, and there's just a million sound effects, and the crosses are flipping, and it would just be CGI nonsense.
Is that in The Conjuring?
It's in the second one, yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen The Conjuring.
The
The
ending-
first one's better than
The first one is much better.
I haven't
but
seen
the
The
second
Conjuring,
of
so.
Conjuring 2 literally falls into complete schlock, and I love it.
Well, it's on our list, so hopefully
Not the second
not
one.
the second one. The first one is. So I hope I can get into the first
Yes.
one and then venture down.
We
the
will.
line. Okay.
It's sitting right on
The
our
third
bookshelf.
one was supposed to have already released.
Did it get pushed back?
Oh, yeah.
The
I
Conjuring,
thought-
The Devil Made Me Do It, which is
That's the third
That's
one?
the third one.
I just threw
Oh, I
up.
thought that
So
was
wait,
the
hold
fourth.
on.
I don't
We
know.
can.
There's too many of them.
We kind of mentioned this last episode. If you made
Yeah.
it to the end, we venture a little bit. We ramble a little bit.
We
so.
that's probably the thing we do best.
Yeah,
is getting
so,
off topic.
Hang on, I want to go down this road for a minute here as we're talking about remakes and extensions and sequels.
Which this movie inspired everything, really.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
if
fair.
we're comparing the second one or second Conjuring to the first Exorcist, here we go. Wow, how many movies are in that timeline, and how long are they going to stretch it for? know?
I've heard that they're gonna do the Nun 2.
Because the Nun, it's
Crooked
the-
Man
the-
that's in the 2 is getting his own spin-off
Oh.
movie.
So wait, there's the Conjuring series 1 and
Yes.
2.
Yes,
Then
with the
there's-
third one on the way.
Then there's
it's done.
Okay, then there's Annabelle.
That has 3
That
movies.
has 3, and then there's the Nun,
Which has a sequel on the way, I guess.
which is just 1 currently, but
Yes.
has a sequel. Okay, and then they're saying there's gonna be a spin-off.
Spin-off of a spin-off, The Crooked Man.
So I'm gonna compare this to Paranormal Activity. It's the
yes.
same thing. I don't want to see that with The Exorcist. I don't even think there should have been a second one with The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it. I'm not even going to lie. I haven't seen it.
At the end of the movie, they don't even hint at there being
Because that's not
a
how they
second
make
one. So I felt like
that's
they
the
should have
thing.
just left
In
it.
the 70s, they don't expect to do sequels.
Because there was this great concept. It was called making one movie and then moving the fuck on. Okay,
Doing something outside the box.
Do you think
Original.
Do you think George Lucas made Star Wars with the intent that it was going to be this? No, it was we got to set everything up and pay everything off because there might not be anything else.
I don't even think he had intentions of doing the prequel series.
No, no.
So-
do you think he knew what the Clone Wars was or
No,
anything?
No. I mean, well, yes, actually, he did because in A New Hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, but I'm saying like that's just a throwaway. Like you think he knew?
Yeah, he was
oh,
like-
that's going to consist of da 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 da.
world building,
Yeah.
throwing it out the window.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
I get really disturbed nowadays when people don't even have a movie in production yet. They just pitch their idea, and the studio automatically goes, make it a trilogy.
Yeah,
You know?
not veering too far away from horror, but remember The Mummy with Tom Cruise that came out? They announced that was going to be a Marvel-like universe
yes.
of the Universal horror monsters.
Yes.
Before that one even came out.
They
And
didn't
it
even need
flopped.
to. I never watched it, but they didn't even need to remake The Mummy because the ones with Brendan Fraser
Because
were
it was worse.
the
The
best.
first one with Brendan Fraser is great.
It's great.
The second one has a lot of flaws. The Scorpion King, please kill me.
But it didn't need to be remade.
You're right.
No, absolutely.
I feel
Weird.
like
Whoa, that
Weird.
was strange.
I feel like we have this discussion at least every other week. That they need to stop remaking movies. They need to stop doing sequels and reunions and all that garbage because
Yes.
just be original. Like, and that's why I like watching the older horror movies.
Yes, because this movie
because they're original.
was corny as all hell now, but it had some great shit,
It
man.
still has its
it's still creepy.
excellent moments.
When she turns her head around, oh my
Yes.
god! I remember when I watched that for the first time when I was little. Me and my sisters screamed bloody murder in the basement because
yeah.
how scary it was.
and you hear the of the neck.
it's
and you
such
could just,
simple-
They're like breaking.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? Celery or something?
it was probably like I was reading something. I forgot what it was, but it was like a wallet or something like
Oh my
getting
God.
crunched.
Yeah.
But like it's such a simple effect. Like even you two both know it's literally just someone with the fake back and then
Yes.
just having her turn her head.
Yes.
But it's still so effective.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Even now it still works and you're like, "Oh, okay."
We're rambling still, but Luke,
Yes.
let's go into the 3 pluses and 3 negatives that we
Okay.
tend to do. Give me your best shot here.
Definitely both Linda Blair and because she had a big kerfuffle about not being credited in this movie, the woman with the voice of
the demon
of the
voice.
demon.
Yeah,
Hold
Pazuzu's
on.
voice.
Give me one moment. Mercedes McCambridge.
Okay,
They both hand in hand did such a tremendous job
I agree.
playing Reagan and voicing Reagan that like even now I would say that's probably one of the best performances and characters in any scary movie.
Yes, I agree.
I think that's great. The sound design, even though we kept saying it was low, like the volume wise, this movie has great sound. The score is really good, and I think it's just got that like atmosphere where you're like, oh, I'm scared. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. And I think even though we know what's gonna happen, we know how it ends, we know how it goes. We kept saying Scary Movie 2.
Yes,
Which
yes.
the beginning of that, like I kept waiting for that sort of thing. Where's the father taking a dump with flies in The Exorcist? You know, but even now, it's still like I was still fairly uncomfortable watching it, and
Yes.
I think that's why this movie not only did so well when it came out, which what did I say, like the 15th biggest movie of all time
Yeah, I think
financially
it-
when you adjust it.
Yeah, when you scale for inflation
yeah.
of money.
I can totally understand why, and why that even now, sure, it's got some corny moments, but I think anybody could get into this movie.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
you go ask your mom, your grandma, your uncle, anybody. They've seen this movie. They know Reagan. They know that she swears, and they just, it's synonymous with,
Oh, yeah.
our culture almost,
Absolutely.
which is madness to me.
What's your negatives?
I don't got none.
You have no negatives. I'm really excited.
I mean-
you can say that. I'm really
no,
excited.
no. Definitely some of the acting doesn't hold up very well. That's just how it is. But like, there's not like any huge jumping out at me at this current second. Maybe once you,
I got a couple negatives.
I'm sure I'll agree
Yeah.
to some extent. But please,
Tasha.
So I mean, I agree with Luke on all of his positives.
Yeah.
You know, it holds up. It's not. I don't know. Obviously, like you said, the acting is a little bit corny, but other than that, I agree with.
it's only some of them too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the 12-year-old, the girl, like you wouldn't think that she's a 12-year-old girl, especially
No, she does
when
well
she's
job.
possessed.
Yeah.
Linda Blair.
Yeah.
Shout out.
The one thing
Who
that,
aged really well. She did. She's gorgeous.
Yep.
the one thing that I would say is a negative is just the length of it. It was just too long.
Sure.
But
So my positives are real quick because they're pretty much on the same thing as you. Acting, fantastic, especially coming from the 12-year-old. The effects in this, just to list some. You know, we got the white eyes or the demon eyes, the contacts, which I'm sure people at the time didn't even know you could do.
No.
You got the moving furniture. You got the bouncing on the bed when she's bouncing in place on the bed, or then when she's rocking back and forth. You know, and we see that memed out all the time. In fact,
Yeah.
it was really funny that you mentioned that earlier, and I've been saving this. I saw that clip on a loop with a dubstep song. And
Oh, yeah?
It was the funniest thing. And I haven't been in dubstep in a long time, but I laughed so fucking hard at that.
Right.
And it was like 2 weeks ago. Oh my God. That was just so funny to me. So that was really good. The bending, like you had mentioned, the bending of her neck and the contorting of her body in some ways. I mean, you can tell when it's real and when it's not.
When she's walking on her hand, like
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
no.
And then, of course, the vomit, which you had mentioned.
It's soup.
Give me a fun fact.
Fun fact: it's Anderson's brand soup. I think it's veggie soup. Doesn't really fucking matter. Apparently, they tried Campbell's and it didn't look as good.
Campbell's is too runny, man.
Yeah, it's too runny. It's not as thick.
Yeah. God, and it was vulgar.
Yes.
To this day, it's vulgar.
Also,
Nasty.
it was supposed to hit Karras in the chest.
Yeah.
That's why when you see him hit him in the face, he looks genuinely disgusted because yuck.
Yeah, it went right in his
Yeah.
mouth, and he was just not
at least
about
it was just soup, though. It wasn't like pre-made
Right.
bullshit.
Yeah, right. So my negatives are probably a lot more disgusting than the positives. The audio mix in this is atrocious. We actually turned on the subtitles because I could not, for the life of me, understand what was being said. And I don't mind watching with subtitles.
Yeah, I'm
Luke,
pro.
I know
I'm
you don't,
pro subtitles.
Yeah, I know you don't mind either, especially because if we're dicking around, we read a lot on our phones and stuff. So it's half the time we're hearing, and the other half we're actually reading. So that's fine for me.
Well, also, if you'd like a little behind the scenes tidbit, is whenever I'm doing a review, I always have the subtitles on because sometimes you'll mishear things, you'll
All
miss
the time.
lines. It's
yes,
so I'm pro. If you really want to sink a movie into your brain,
turn them subtitles.
turn
on.
them subtitles.
Read it.
on. Yeah.
Read it. Make sure you're understanding.
Train
it.
to Busan got me on that train because
because
it's not in English.
not in English. Yeah. Rec actually got me on that.
Okay.
So I'm very plus subtitles as well. The length of this movie, there was the first thing I said, but this movie has no business being this long. It is too long.
I think it's only 2 hours.
It doesn't matter.
Wow.
This is way too long.
I think I felt like it was like 2.5.
If this was made now, it would not survive the critics. It would not. It is too long. It is too drawn out for the little amount of action.
Right.
Mind you, when we see the action, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it is just too damn long. The other thing is the plot holes in this fucking story is ridiculous. And I'm not saying that all horror movies have to have their laid out story.
Yeah, because
but-
it's first and foremost, it's about being scared.
Yeah. But I have 3 questions because I was actually
Let's hear 'em.
embedded into this story.
Yeah.
We don't see Father Karras's mother died. What happened? Last time we saw her, she was in a psych hospital. Why was she in a psych hospital?
Well, I'm
it wasn't
assuming
crazy.
She just died off screen, and that's when we get the scene of
We know she
him
was
having
ill
the
of some
vision. Yeah.
sort, but boom. I don't mind the vision, but the fact that it wasn't mentioned until
Right.
the end portion, the last
Yeah.
half hour of this movie, when she says, "Your mother's in hell." With us."
Maybe even like that. I'm blanking if the scene with him doing his thing at the church was before or after.
it was after.
Okay,
I
well,
think that kind of mentions his
Even
mom
like
passing
maybe
away.
like a scene right there of someone saying like, "Oh, sorry about your mom," as he's walking out.
And
Yeah,
even perfect at that point.
Right.
What if that was at her funeral and it was just a pan out?
He's
of
doing.
that?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, at the very
that
end. you
would have
see-
been
okay.
fantastic.
And for how long the movie was, couldn't they have shortened something and just
And
put a
just-
quick little thing
yeah,
to his
yeah.
mom?
Absolutely. The second one, Burke Dennings. We hear about his mysterious murder,
Yeah.
when the investigator starts showing up.
His character doesn't. He just kind of up and goes.
Yeah, but the problem is why all of a sudden bring an investigator around to investigate a murder that the audience has no idea about until the mother admits it to Karis when she's like, she killed Burke Dennings, pushed him out the window. It's like, we didn't even see and or know about that. We were just hearing about someone who had died, and I was lost at that point. And my third one is Father Merrin. He just dies randomly with Regan sitting on the bed. Like, she's untied, sitting on the bed, like, propped up. No harm done to him because he has his book in his hand, and he's just dead?
He has a heart attack, I guess.
And that's my question was, what is the white pills he's taking? Because he goes into the bathroom and takes a pill again after we had seen that in the opening scenes of the movie. But that's never explained. I mean, yeah, this is a horror movie, but in my opinion, I was more drawn into, like, let's figuring out what's happening to this poor girl instead of just being scared about it. You know, I was actually into the storyline. You know, instead of like Trick or Treat or another one where I didn't really give a shit about the storyline. You know, I just was like, okay, well, what's next? You know,
Right.
So I was rather interested in that, and those are my negatives. The plot holes just kind of a little discouraging.
Well, if you think about it,
little discouraging.
The murder is never even really finished up. Like,
I know.
Which, I mean, even if it did go to court, not only could they not use the devil made me do it, because as you probably know, that's been used a lot before, and it's never worked.
Even currently.
Yeah. But also the fact that how would a sick little girl manage to push
him out the window?
A capable, like, fully grown man out of a window? It'd probably be a lot of plosives, a pretty sticky investigation for the fan of my boy.
Right.
Or my girl, sorry.
Your girl. Your boy, your girl. Well, you think she's a boy, so.
She's got the haircut.
The last thing I wanted to
look.
mention is I kept a counter of how many times there was cunts being
Okay.
said. Or
Jesus Christ. Or for Christ's sake.
Jesus Christ / for Christ's sake. I counted them as one because it was funny. I counted 11 Jesus Christ / Christ for Christ's
Most of
sakes.
which coming from
The mother.
Chris McNeil.
Yeah, which is hilarious
Yes.
because a movie based around like a demonic embedding in
That's her go-to.
Yeah, and that's the first thing she says.
Vice, I guess.
So maybe you should have a little bit more religion, bitch.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
You know, that's why.
Yeah, maybe your daughter wouldn't have been possessed if you.
Yeah, let's bully this nearly 90-year-old woman, I think.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah, stupid head.
Wow.
The cunt counter.
My favorite.
Only 4.
Only
Tasty.
4.
Only 4 that I count, and 2 of which were, it wasn't.
The doctor said one.
No, it was cunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was gonna say cuntington.
That's why I said ing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I know you don't like the word, but 2 of which was just cunt, and
Yep.
then the other 2 were cunting.
Well,
which
the
is-
doctor also says it too.
Yeah, well, I counted that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
There's
was
not
2.
that many.
No, I thought there was way more than this. For some reason, I guess when
Well,
I watched this,
it's known as a very profane and
Yeah.
out there.
Probably
like,
when you heard it when you
yeah.
were younger, you're like,
oh my god.
Now you put on like the first 5 minutes of Wolf of Wall Street
There's
and it
a-
blows it out of the water.
Right, and there's only one motherfucker, and there is what Mace Windu. Why am I? Samuel L. Jackson would be ashamed.
He'd be ashamed.
He'd be ashamed. So there's only one MF, and then there is 2 cocks, and both of which are cocksuckers.
I didn't see any cocks.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, speaking of that too, we forgot to mention in the last video, which is Reanimator,
Yes.
that there was a tasteful titty count of 3.
3.
in that.
The rest
So, sorry
were
about
not
that.
Tasteful.
Yeah, just going to go back.
I have.
Yeah, the rest were not.
I've given Vox his nightly lashes with the belt for forgetting this. He has not slept in 6 days.
Been crying a lot.
Yeah,
But there was no tasteful titties in this. A little bit of cleavage.
a little bit.
A little
But-
bit of
but
cleavage.
This was
from the mom.
73, so
Yeah, so
you know, have some decency.
yeah, but what was the other one? 85, right?
Yeah,
Reanimator. Okay.
well, that was full swing.
Yeah, they were learning in the next 12 years.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
explain our rating system.
Well, I'm glad you asked, sir. We do both a pick it and flick it rating, basically thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm sure we can all predict what the 3 of us will decide, but we also give it out of 10, just in case you want a little more,
yeah, because sometimes
more nuance.
Sometimes you need to know if you should watch it, but you also need to know if it's good or not. Just because it's not good doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it, which is where I'm sitting. Luke,
Yes.
what's your ratings, dude?
Well, it's a unanimous, without a doubt, pick. I would hope
yes.
from me
You a
at
pick
least.
Pick
yes.
it.
Yes.
It's a unanimous
okay.
pick it.
I'd give
obviously.
this movie a 9 on a bad day and a 10 if I'm really feeling generous.
Wow.
Yes. Not so much because I think everything in it holds up, because obviously there will always be corny acting and a little
Sure.
bit of cheese to,
Sure.
to the older movies gets. That'd be like saying Dracula from 31 isn't as scary.
Yeah, but shut up.
Yeah, it's
Right.
But for what it did, what it's done, and
Yes.
what it still manages to get out of me, I was still fairly uncomfortable for quite a bit of it.
Yes.
There were some parts where I had forgotten how good it was, truthfully, because I haven't sat down and watched The Exorcist in a long time.
Neither have I.
I'm glad I did, because I really enjoyed it again, and I'll give it a 10, which, if you know me, is a hard act to get.
Tasha.
I'd say 7.75 because I can't quite give it that 8.
Jesus, you're getting all these
I
breakdowns.
can't quite give it that 8 because it was just too long that I started to get restless.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it was still a really good movie, and I would watch it anytime.
Yeah?
Yes.
I'm going to give this a 6.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a definite watch for me. Make sure you
What's
do
the
that.
highest rank you've given?
Because I think you gave Reanimator higher than that.
I probably did.
What?
We need to write these
We
down.
do need to write them down.
Yeah.
We should go back and check that
We
out.
both just looked at each other like, shit, we should have been writing this.
I know. Anyways,
I
it is
said
a,
that last one too.
it
Write
is-
it down right now.
it is a 6 for me.
Yeah,
And,
write like all three of ours if you.
I gave it a 6. Luke, you gave it a
I'll
10.
give it a 10.
and
5 stars.
Tasha,
7.75.
you gave it a 7.75. Jesus Christ. All right, I've written that down. Now it's on
Yes.
Audible recording in history that'll be on the internet forever. So now you know.
Yes.
Anyways, it's too damn long.
I disagree.
The
That's
plot,
okay.
the plot holes are all over the place for me, especially for someone who was into the story, not just into the horror.
Yeah. There are definitely some things that that kind of feel
and
both pointless and unexplained.
yeah, although a movie fan and a critic, obviously, I am a millennial. So if it's too long, I lose attention, and it was getting there.
And
So,
I don't mind a little longer runtime. I don't mind the intro. I think it's.
I'm just being
it was
true.
interesting.
I'm just being true.
Right.
It's a good movie
That's okay.
for what it did, but
I'm not upset.
it was just too damn long.
Get it snappier.
I know.
Come on.
Get with it.
Shorten it. Give us the shortened version.
That's right.
I want to see only scenes with Reagan shouting obscenities.
And
And
puking.
puking everywhere.
Yes, exactly. A lot of puke.
A lot of puke everywhere.
What's the puke budget of this movie? I don't know.
Probably not
Yeah,
very
it's very
high.
cheap because it's soup.
Probably not very high at all.
$39.99.
Give me something positive.
Don't let your child do obscene things with the cross,
That's right.
because it'll make me grossed out.
That's right. Tasha.
Y'all ever heard of a reverse exorcism?
No.
It's when the devil tells the priest to exit the child's body.
Oh,
We are so
that
edgy.
was edgy.
That's really high on the edge scale for Tasha. She's not usually a shit stirrer.
I like that. That was Carlin would be proud.